KFAN, the fan. Forever, burn back and steel. It takes so much more than toes to swim across.
Good morning, everybody. Powership Morning Show. Man, the star power is unbelievable. Marney Gellner's over there.
The champ is here.
Ben Lieber's over there.
Tell you what, it feels good to wear that crown for a week. And I'm wearing it.
Dude, you kicked ass on Friday.
Well, the start was strong enough to carry me through.
Man.
I faded, but, you know, when you're that strong out of the block, what are you going to do?
Yeah. You did great.
I heard what you said about me and my body odor. All of you.
Yeah, I didn't say anything.
It's pungent.
I didn't confirm it. I just said I had heard the rumor, and Ben confirmed it.
Not true. I showered this morning.
Oh, fantastic.
And I do wear deodorant.
Fantastic.
Thanks for asking. Secret, unscented.
Oh, dear, de skunk.
Next time, try the scented. So you're catching a flight because you're going to lovely Florida.
Oh.
Yes, I thought I'd spend about 18 hours in Orlando.
Yeah.
Very glamorous. But yes, Michael Grady is doing an NBA TV game tomorrow night, so that leaves a seat to fill. So I will be doing play-by-play for the Timberwolves at Orlando Magic tomorrow night.
That's pretty cool.
So how many times have you been on lead vocals for the Wolves?
A few single digits.
Single digits?
Fewer than 10, yeah.
That's badass.
And it
Good for you.
shows. Is that what you're trying to say? And it shows.
Wow.
I'll say it before you can.
Are you all prepped up, or how much are you going to be cramming?
I've been, a little bit here and there, but I have a decent amount of work to do. Both teams played last night, so Orlando won in overtime against Atlanta. So I've got to get up to speed. Good thing I have a long flight to do that.
Oh, man, it's never good when you get a cram on the flight. You just want to enjoy the flight. You want to kick back and have hockey sit right behind you and
Gary.
Watch True Detective.
True Detective.
That is crazy. You know how many flights in my life I have packed something in my my carry-on or whatever to work on. Backpack, right? I'm gonna do this, especially the international flights. It's I got 7 hours. I'm gonna be productive. That never comes out of the backpack ever.
No, well, the best feeling it's sort of like when a kid's activity gets canceled. When you open up the laptop and you're like, I got to get some work done, and then the Wi-Fi doesn't work, you're like,
I guess I'm not working.
I'm not working. I guess I'll just see what movies are playing right now. It's the best.
Yeah,
Pretty good.
all right, Barnes.
Well,
Thanks for being flexible.
You know what? I texted Mus and I said, can I swap with you? And he said, no problem. So I'm half expecting him to walk through the door and go, oh, bleep.
Right.
God.
Yeah.
That's something he would
But
do.
it's kind of fun because we get into a routine and it's over and over. And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, it's Monday. What does that look like and feel like? And turns out same old yahoos are here.
It's the same.
Same thing.
Yahoos.
Except for Ben.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yep.
I didn't say it was a good thing.
Oh, I'm going to take it as a good thing.
Yeah.
Rally cry.
Just us yahoos.
I didn't know what seat you'd be sitting in because on Tuesdays,
Are you
when
here?
I come in, that seat is taken by John Bonus where you are. So Rosie is not
Rosie.
flexible. So
No, Rosie, that's his seat.
yeah. So I have to get up at 7:30 when Bonus leaves and actually change seats mid-show.
Yeah, Rosie will just stand over you until you leave.
Yep.
Until you move.
To be fair, he's earned it.
Oh.
Has he?
So I concede.
Why that chair, though? Why does he like sitting there?
I don't know. It's a good question.
It's probably where he sits with Common in order to be able to be across the
He sits
table.
here with Common.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
he
Your
does.
spot.
Yeah.
Well,
So I don't know.
you're next to have to move. Sauce, he's eyeballing your seat.
I like my seat. I could see Hogs. I could see Coral.
This is KFAN News with Chris Hockey.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Is that all you had, son?
What?
I interrupted your sentence. I thought I'm so sorry.
No.
Well, you're getting on a flight here in a little bit, aren't you, Marnes?
I am.
The cockpit voice recorder of an Alaskan Airlines flight from Portland, Oregon to California that lost a section of the fuselage on Friday will be worthless to investigators. The National Transportation Safety Board says that because the recorder lasts only 2 hours and then records of the previous time. All of the information from when the emergency happened was lost.
Wait a minute.
What?
Yeah.
That's how that
what?
works?
Apparently it is.
I had never heard that. That's
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah, why would it do that?
European airlines are required to have recorders that last 25 hours. So the
Yeah.
NTSB is calling on the FAA to require the upgrade to 25 hours on all U.S. commercial airlines.
There's a lot of room for recording between 2 hours and
Yeah.
25.
And it's not like they're using tape anymore. You know? They're not going to run out of tape. Everybody be cool. Get a big old thumb drive.
Yeah, man, do that.
By the way, the NTSB says the door plug that was blown out of an Alaskan Airlines plane on Friday has been recovered. Zach blew out a door plug once.
Oh, yeah. Zach.
Sorry, Zach. I think we've all been there.
What?
We might be thinking about two different things. Did I see this story correctly? Maybe you guys can confirm, maybe deny. They've found some of the items that got sucked out of the plane.
Yeah.
And somebody found an iPhone that was still working.
Two of them.
Two of them?
Yeah.
Yeah, still in airplane mode, and it still worked. And it dropped 10,000 feet or whatever.
Something
it
like
was?
that, yeah.
Landed directly on DB Cooper.
Really?
Unbelievable
kidding. That's how
coincidence.
they found
He was
him?
alive too, but the phone killed him.
Headrests, seat backs, a tray table also missing from the plane, but no serious injuries were reported. That would suck.
How many people on that flight were like, I was going to get some work done,
Yeah.
but then half the plane
Went
busted
out the
off, and then
window.
I just watched reruns of The Office till we
Yeah.
landed calmly.
Do you guys actually put your phones into airplane mode?
I do. I don't know.
I do, yeah.
I don't know. I'm a
Really?
rule follower. I'm not a
Yeah.
rebel, Dottie.
I kind of like the idea that nobody can reach me.
Yeah. And if you
Oh,
don't,
there's
it'll
that.
burn through your battery because your phone will
Yeah, it's
constantly be
more of a
looking
battery
for a
thing.
signal.
Yeah. On the team charters, I don't
Yeah.
normally, but on commercial flights, I'll put it on airplane.
Interesting. Maybe I'm, spoiled from flying so many team charters, but I never do. And that battery is not an issue, but I wonder, is it the way they configure the Wi-Fi or something on a team charter? I
are you-
don't know.
Are
I'm going to
you-
consider it today.
Okay, let me put my nerd glasses on. Are you just connecting to the team's charter Wi-Fi when you do that?
I
Will you
am,
log
because
in?
we are a Delta charter, I am connected to, with my Delta flight pass.
So I bet you that's why, because your phone's recognizing the signals coming from the Wi-Fi, so it's not trying to keep pulling from the cell signal.
Okay.
So it's probably not sucking the juice trying to get the cell signal.
If the cell, if the antenna is on, it's trying to pull a cell phone signal at all times.
At all times, no matter
Yes.
what.
Correct. So
the juice.
Yeah.
you don't go to airplane mode, it's going to constantly try to find a tower.
Then you just have a great battery.
You want more juice?
You have a
Say it again.
you have a great battery. The envy of all people.
Lego Lantern, it is now 2024. Technology has greatly advanced. Are we not okay with keeping our phones on just your regular settings? Do we feel like people are we are going to interfere with the instrument panel?
It's not even as much about that anymore. I mean, there's still obviously the concern about radio, I guess, interruption, but a lot of it is just they don't want the towers to get overloaded down here. So it takes more energy to send a cell phone signal up, 5,000-6,000 feet in the air. And so basically the towers just get jumbled if everybody had their phone on at all times. That's basically the best way I can explain it. It's about not overloading the towers down here as people are taking off and landing, because it takes a lot of energy.
My greatest joy with being on the team charter isn't the airplane mode, all the food. It's being able to take off and land with my tray table down.
They don't care.
No,
I love
I don't
it so
care.
much.
It's the best. I know.
I love it.
That I don't get.
Sometimes when we're taking off, I do a handstand in the aisle.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I love
Sometimes with your pants on and sometimes not.
Wow, you
It
take
depends.
your pants off?
it. Sometimes.
Yeah, it looks like the guy that jumped in the pool.
How about that guy having no wiener, by the way?
I know.
It's just really weird. I mean,
Yeah, that was very sad. I don't even know what happened there.
What are you
you don't know what we're talking
about?
about? You haven't seen the guy jump
Oh, is this
into
the Bass Pro Shop?
Yeah,
the
this-
Bass Pro
yeah.
Shop guy?
Was it Bass Pro or was it Cabela's? Which
One
one?
of
That
the
was
two.
Bass
It was
Pro.
one of the two,
I think they're the same company now.
Yeah.
But anyway, I don't know. Anyway, but that was the thing I was astounded by. Not that somebody got wasted and jumped into the
No,
water.
I mean,
there.
I'm surprised it doesn't happen more often, actually.
But that guy had no junk at all.
Yeah.
know.
That picture got sent to a group I'm in with a fellow Thursday person on this show, and he said, quote, "It's like looking in a mirror."
Poor Rosie.
Yeah, the guy has a vagine.
Yeah.
It's really weird. That's a weird thing.
Yeah.
Now I'm distracted by it.
He went into the Bass Pro Shop pond,
Completely nude.
Jumped into the
fully
fish
nude.
tank.
Yeah.
Jumped into the big fish tank, and there's glass, and he's up against the glass, and you're like, well, where is it?
You know what, though? I have to give him some golf claps for having the confidence to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. When you're equipped like that, you don't show that to anybody.
Ever.
Yeah.
This
Ever.
guy,
Yeah. Ever.
whatever.
I mean, he's got a lot of swag and a lot of self-confidence, man.
He's got a lot of
Good
balls.
for him.
But no dong.
Yeah. Yeah. Small trophy, large mantle. Yep.
Rumors of aliens at Bayside Marketplace in downtown Miami are going viral on social media. This comes after a large fight involving 50 juveniles drew a heavy police presence to the area a week ago. Many online conspiracy theorists are suggesting that police weren't there to handle the teenagers, but rather to handle the 8 to 10 foot tall shadow aliens. Officer Michael Vega from Miami Police is reiterating that there were no aliens. No airports closed and no power outages occurred. The phrases Miami Mall and aliens in Miami were among the top 10 searches on X on Friday.
It just baffles me that in this day and age, the only evidence they have is from a helicopter shot 1,000 feet above.
Yeah.
And it's all fuzzy, and there's like an arrow that shows like this shadowy figure.
It's the Bigfoot bit.
Yeah, it's the Bigfoot bit. I'm like, and there's nobody on the ground. There's no boots on the ground that has a cell phone that can capture a 10-foot shadow alien from ground level. Okay.
Lori?
I think everybody's doing great.
So, Marnes, I'm taking you missed that too?
Yeah, I don't know.
Somebody I know was real into it.
Well, you're
Do you live
real
with her?
good at being
No.
real vague.
He's
Nope.
definitely talking about hot ass
You
Randy.
are correct.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Randy had like 9 different angles of it that he was like, see? Like, Randy, no, it's not real.
What would I Google to get up to speed?
Miami shadow alien.
You probably should be concerned. You're going to Orlando. I'm sure
Yeah.
the shadow aliens are going to make the trek to Disney World at some point. Right? It's the most magical place on Earth. If they're going to travel across the galaxy or the universe, they got to see what we have to offer, the best of the best.
Well, the shadow alien appears to be it.
Look up Jake Browning's girlfriend.
Oh, I saw her in the white spandex pantsuit
My
or
God.
onesie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
Do
wasn't
they
a
sell
pantsuit.
those
it
at
was a-
Shields?
I
Where do they sell those?
Don't.
Her onesie
They
gave
sell a
me
lot of
3.5
great stuff
seat.
at Shield. I have not seen the white spandex ones.
That's not in the luge section
Are you saying luge or lewd?
Or lube.
Or lube.
or lewd. Wow, there's a whole lot going on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, she won the internet yesterday. Good for her.
Hey, good for her, man.
All right. More with Marney Gellner
Oh, yeah, we got
and
sports
Ben
now, man.
Weaver. Sauce will go through sports. The Viking season is over. Ben and Chris were in Detroit for the big game, the last game of the 2023/24 season. This is the Power Trip Morning Show on the Fan.
We'll also talk about Zach. I don't know if you heard this or not, Corey, but Zach performed the Mount Everest stagger this weekend.
Delivers again!
Welcome back, Power Trip Morning Show, home of your Minnesota Vikings, your Golden Gophers sports, Minnesota Wild, Minnesota Timberwolves, all of that. Here's Nick Mullins getting a little emotional after yesterday's final game of the season.
Just like what we were 1-4, 1-3, and then we went 5-0, and then obviously the stretch, like your starter goes down, and you'd love to come in and say like us quarterbacks, whoever was back there, led the team to the playoffs, and that's what we hoped for. Didn't get it done. Sorry. But it's been fun. It's been, like I said, love the Vikings. It sucks, but it was a fun season. You learn a lot. You go through a lot. It's cool.
Yeah, you forget, right? Because we all get upset at the quarterback. He's, he's just a dude doing his best. Right.
Yeah, that's the thing about a lot of athletes. Like, it's easy to rip on them critically from a professional standpoint.
Yeah.
I mean, and they're okay with that.
Yeah.
It's just that when they start showing the human side of it and you start seeing and getting emotionally attached, like, it makes it a lot more difficult. And you're like, God dang, like, I know that this dude is actually he's not trying to make stupid decisions. You know, he's just trying to go out there and make plays.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that we loved about him. It's like he'll go out and throw for 400 yards in 2 games against the same team. And but yet we focus on, and rightfully so, because turnovers have been our Achilles heel all year, especially in the first game. That's why we didn't beat those guys at home.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Sauce, would you like to do sports?
Yeah, and I have like 3 or 4 things that just happened, and one involves somebody who used to work for the Vikings.
It's time for Fan
It'll make
5
sense.
on the Power Trip,
look at me like
presented by All Around Property Preservation.
Okay, so the Commanders have fired Ron Rivera, and then,
Really?
yep, the Commanders owner has hired 2 prominent executives, former Warriors GM Bob Myers and former Vikings GM Rick Spielman, to assist his group in the searches for a new head of football operations and coach. So Rick Spielman is back in.
Do you interpret that as those are temporary positions? They're advising a head coaching hire and then they're out?
Leaves.
It's interesting.
That is
a great gig.
That's very interesting. I don't know how much of these consultants are used. I mean, that's exactly what they're being hired for.
Yeah,
it's like
sure.
it's any sort of big business that hires a company like Deloitte to come in and do some consulting, figure out their best plan going forward, and then they just pay them and leave. I find that bizarre that a guy like Rick Spielman, who obviously has a lot of experience in doing this, why he wouldn't want there to be something after. Like, do I get to be a part of the front office? Do I get to be the assistant GM? Do I get to
Right. I wonder.
Yeah, maybe he would like there to be something after, and they're like, we can't afford that. We're just
possible?
Or perhaps, guys,
short term.
is it possible that he's created a new business? Like this is what he does now.
Man, being a consultant would kick ass.
Yeah.
Right, you come in, you don't even necessarily have to come up with a new idea. You just have to say, hey, here's our idea. Do you like this or not? And you go, I don't like that. Then you go home and cash the check. Yeah, Corey said he didn't like the idea. So
I'm guessing it's probably
he did a pretty
not
good job
that
of consulting.
Like
In my head, it's very easy.
because the Warriors are a basketball team, right?
They sure are, yes.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I know it's silly, but
Yes.
But like, why those two together? I wonder if they created some business or something like that. Like, this is what they do.
Maybe. I don't
Both
know.
long time, general managers or executives, right? So, I mean, maybe some things translate to all sports.
Yeah. And Myers is the basically
Extremely good.
Yeah, he's the guy that put together the 4-time NBA champ and that whole dynasty.
That's a culture change in Washington, right?
Yeah.
New owner.
And they got cash.
Yeah, they're trying to see what's going on now. Who knows?
Johnny Cash?
Yeah, the Panthers also fired their GM. So a lot of news coming fast and furious.
Yep.
Hawks' favorite film franchise.
Great film.
What's your favorite one?
Tokyo Drift by a mile. Love it.
Vikings lost 30-20 to the Lions. JJ had a monster game in that loss. 12 catches for 192 yards and a touchdown. Mullins threw for 396, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. The Vikings are going to finish the year 7-10. The first time they've reached double-digit losses since 2013. They will have the 11th overall pick in the 2024 draft. So let draft season begin.
Real quick before I comment on that, Sauce, did Robert Salah get fired yet?
Well, the day isn't over.
Oh, okay.
He'll be I should have. A, he should be fired. He's terrible.
Oh,
And B,
I disagree, but
he'll be the first head coach fired in the 2024 season. How about we do double or nothing on that bet?
nope.
All right, fine. I'll pay you $100 probably in about 2 hours.
Well, I mean, it doesn't have to be today. I mean, he could get fired this
What if he
week.
gets fired in
what's the
November?
so what's the deadline?
Well, November doesn't count. It's got to. Wouldn't it
What's
have to
the
be
deadline?
before the season?
Feb 1?
Oh, Oh, sure.
Well, do you guys remember the parameters of the bet when you made
He
it?
just
I
said
just
that
said he'd
he
be
thinks
fired.
he's going to get fired at the end of the season. And I said, I'll take that bet.
Yeah, and technically, the end of the season might last from
So
the final day until the season begins again.
right, so couldn't we argue if he's the coach season opener of 2024, then you win the bet? Because if it's the off season, if he gets the entire off season to get fired, then he has the next 8 months to get fired.
Well, technically, in March, when the new league year starts.
That's
Yeah,
fair
let's
too.
do that. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So start of the new league year.
Yeah.
If he's still the head coach, you owe me $100.
Yeah.
Because that's the essence of the bet anyway, right? Like if he has some weird scandal in July and gets fired, that's not what you guys were really
No,
betting
we're
on
talking about
anyway.
performance. Yes.
All right, so I think that's fair. Middle of March.
Thanks,
New
guys.
league year.
Yeah.
That was a fair compromise, guys.
That
Well
was very
done.
kind.
Hey, Ben.
I consulted on that bet.
You did a great job.
You guys each owe me $10,000.
Ben, pay him.
That's my fee.
Hey, Ben.
Yes.
Yesterday, you intimated that you thought it was a done deal that Harbaugh was going to be the head coach of the San Diego Chargers next year. No longer San Diego, now Los Angeles. You still think that?
I was only reporting what I saw on X. I didn't have any inside information.
all right,
Schefter has said that.
Yeah,
He said it yesterday on
I was
ESPN.
just as I was eating our breakfast brunch, I was scrolling X
Those
and I was like,
hamburgers weren't done. Made me almost sick to my stomach.
Really?
Yeah, man.
I thought it was fine.
Things that are raw make me kind of feel sick. About that.
Maybe you just got a bad batch.
Maybe I did. Maybe that's what I heard.
No, I just saw that the hot rumor was that he was the number one candidate, and there's a good chance that he was going to be hired by LA. But we all know that he's going to take his time. He will be the hottest, most sought after head coach out there. And so all these teams, whether it's the Commanders or the Chargers, possibly the Titans, Atlanta, these teams are all going to be vying for him. So his best option is to keep all options open, and get in a bidding war.
Yeah, that's he was almost our head coach, remember? He was here for like 8 hours.
Right, but now if I'm Harbaugh now, especially if I win tonight, right, if I'm Harbaugh and I beat Washington, do I call the Chargers? Maybe. Could I see going to Atlanta? Possibly.
Could you see him going back to Michigan?
Maybe. Nailed it.
Brilliant.
I'd much rather be an NFL head coach than a college head coach.
Right.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Recruiting sucks.
Yeah,
Right.
man.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
What a waste of time.
This portal business of, I don't even know what actually is considered now you're locked in.
Yeah.
Because
you're
it
not.
just happened again that somebody committed, I use air quotes, by, I don't know, posting it or verbalizing or whatever, and then boom, back at the portal. Like, what?
And if he goes to the LA Chargers, they have a quarterback, and that's half of the battle with a new coach. They have a quarterback.
Sergeant Slaughter.
Did you see transfer portal? The Gophers got Donald Driver's
Yeah, I
kid,
saw
Yeah, man.
Christian
Wow.
Driver
Couple
from
players
Penn
yesterday.
State came
Yeah.
over. I don't know if he's good or not, but it's Donald Driver's kid.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Good for him.
Yeah, I
Welcome
don't
aboard.
know. We could talk for hours about the college football game and the college athletics, but they just need to get it. They need to start all over again, because even the word commitment is not what it is anymore.
Yeah.
You know, these kids say, "Oh, I committed to Minnesota. I'm going to play for the Golden Gophers," and they commit in July going into their senior year, and they're like, "Hey, they've got this commit. Let's put him on all these websites. He's committed." It doesn't mean anything.
Well, it's like marriage. About half of marriages end, right? And that's supposed to be a commitment. So the word commitment is just fun.
Well, that got real.
Yeah, that got weird. Wow. Do we need to flush this out off air or something?
No, I'm just saying, commit to what you want.
Like the billboard behind you.
Yeah, that's good.
Like sensualchocolate.com.
Game times have been announced for this weekend's wildcard rounds. Do you guys care about that?
Yeah, hell yeah, man.
Browns at Texans is 4:30 on Saturday. That's Eastern probably. So 3:30 our
Yep.
time on NBC.
I would take the Texans.
Dolphins at Kansas City, 7 o'clock on Peacock.
Yep.
People are happy about that.
Stupid.
Sunday games are Steelers at Bills at noon on CBS.
That'll be a destruction.
Packers at Cowboys at 3:30 on Fox.
That'll also be a destruction.
Rams at Lions, 7 o'clock on NBC.
That'll be a fun
That's gonna be
game.
a fun game.
Yeah.
That's the best one.
I mean, I'm just going to say this because I can't say things like this at home. The Cowboys are going to destroy the Packers, right?
They should, but it is the playoff.
I know.
And it is the Cowboys.
But
Exactly.
the Cowboys are at home, man.
They've been crushing
so
it.
good at home.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Monday, there is a Monday Night Football playoff game. Eagles at Tampa Bay, 7 o'clock on ABC/ESPN. That's the schedule.
Baker Mayfield, again, I said it earlier, but him sending the Eagles home would be the funniest possible ending for Philadelphia's season.
It'd be awesome.
I'd like it.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Marnes,
Yeah, hi.
aren't you doing something soon?
Oh, yeah.
I'm pretty much doing something every dang day.
Well, you almost cursed, didn't you?
Yeah,
You did, yeah.
man.
You're very busy.
The Wolves lost 115-108 to the Mavs. The Wolves have lost 3 of 4. Ant had 36. The Mavs ended the game on a 15-2 run.
That was a problem.
Very bad. When they had control, and I'm like, all right, cool. They are going to find a way to win this game, and it's going to be one of those victories where you're like, this is why they're a great team. Then they just went in the tank.
So, Marty, help me out because I didn't see a second of the game. But Wolves Twitter was basically saying that the refs screwed us start to finish. Is that accurate?
No.
That was a quick one. Fantastic.
It was
Juicy.
Carl Anthony Towns and Anthony Edwards both had some really ticky-tack, barely touching fouls. But you know, if you're going to slow it down and go by the letter of the law, it is a foul. I think they get whistled differently, especially Carl, but he has to understand that and adjust to that. Anthony Edwards had 3 fouls in the first quarter. He got taken out with like 2 minutes to go in the first quarter.
Deal.
He still had a monster game, huh?
And he never picked up another foul. It was crazy. But Carl Anthony Towns played 18 seconds of the third quarter when he picked up, would that have been his 4th? It took 18 seconds. Then he got a little ticky-tack one, boom, right to the bench. Didn't play again in the third. So
I think 18 seconds on a ticky-tack one is the title of Sauce's sex tape.
yeah!
I'm just listening.
I think
At least Ben liked it.
But
Not necessarily in that order.
Really good
Yeah.
and really quick.
I think you could criticize the refs in every single NBA game for every team.
Wow,
The problem
Gary.
was exactly what Sauce says, a 15-2 run. It was 13-0 before the Timberwolves scored. But here's what I will say about that game last night. This was not one of those, like, God, this is so disappointing. What a terrible game. It actually was a great game. Both teams played really well and had their star power out there, which is what we need to see from this team. We went toe-to-toe. It was a great little barometer. And the thing that we have to learn and the lesson that you have to take away, because if you just lose a game, boom, that's awful. If you lose a game and learn from it and can be better because of it, that is a valuable type of loss. So in this one, it's execution in the final 2-3 minutes, which the Wolves have been great. They've been a wonderful clutch team, best clutch team in the NBA. Then they were not last night. So you have to learn from that. You have to be better. You can't let a team go 13-0, ultimately 15-2. You can't turn the ball over. That was it. It all came apart in the final 2 minutes.
All right, I'm convinced you're prepped and ready to go. I would not watch game film of the Magic. I would just watch like True Detective season 1 or something on the flight. You're good to go.
But
watch something fun.
Yeah, or watch Butt. Ben, the Falcons fired their head coach, Arthur Smith. He was 21-30 in 3 seasons.
you know, through this whole thing, and I know that we're not going to get this answer, but I want to know the theory. I want to know the inner workings of why Bijan didn't get highlighted. You know, why Drake London never seemed like, and I get it that you have to have the quarterback to get the ball to both Pitts and whatever, but it seems like these super talented college guys got drafted there to die on the vine.
Yeah.
It's bizarre.
Mm-hmm.
And isn't he supposed to be this offensive guru guy?
Yeah, it was really bad. I mean, there was a couple of games where, from a fantasy football standpoint, Bijan, I think, remember the bit where was it the Vikings game where he rarely played?
Yeah.
And then like a week or two later, he had like 1 touch. And then he would, it's just, the whole thing was odd.
Yeah.
The way that he handled that.
I think the hiring of him 3 years ago was odd.
Yeah.
I think everybody was like, who?
Think if that team had a great quarterback.
I know. That's a talent-wise, that's a sneaky, really talented team.
Yeah.
And defensively, they're talented,
and
too.
they have the 8th overall pick again.
And if you're a really good quarterback and you're looking at that division like,
correct.
Yeah, I can run that division for a couple years.
Yes, you are correct, Max.
I agree with
Can't
that.
have our quarterback. He's ours.
Vikings news when we come back. Ben, let's do a postmortem. Let's see what the hell happened this season. What we liked, what we didn't like. Where do we go from here? More with Marney Gellner and Ben Lieber after this Power Trip Morning Show on The Fan.
The Fan.
The world's toughest Cowboys return to downtown St. Paul on February 2nd and 3rd for the world's toughest rodeo. Be at the XL Energy Center to catch all of the action and excitement as the Cowboys are in it to win it and be crowned Pro Rodeo's world champion. Tickets are on sale now, but caller 11 is going to win their way in with a pair of tickets. 1-800-320-5326. Give it a call and good luck.
I'm not a hateful thing. As mad as I thought I was.
God, what a song.
Which one? This one?
That's a classic.
Oh, man. Okay.
Oh, good stuff, guys.
All right, guys.
It's time for Vikings news on the Power Trip, presented by
Truck accessories pro.
All right, Benjamin. It's officially now the Vikings off season. What do we do with Kirk? What do we do with JJ? Is this make or break for Kwesi? What do we do at quarterback, backup quarterback, third string quarterback? What do we do with this defense? Does Brian Flores go anywhere? The floor is yours.
Oh, boy. Gee, those are all really easy questions, and they're not going to take any time at all. And we're not going to, after this, we're never going to discuss it again. Well, Sauce and I, we were just, as a lot of times, discussing during the commercial break just about all the football stuff going on. And when it comes to Kirk Cousins, that is the number one thing. What are we doing at quarterback? That is going to set the tone for how we draft and what we look for in the draft. He is by far the best free agent quarterback on the market. And there are going to be, if he opens himself up to complete free agency and says, all right, start laying down the offers on my desk, it is going to get bananas for him. Now, the team like Washington's got to figure out what they're going to be doing. Who's the head coach? Who's the offensive coordinator? What's their offense going to look like? I think that he's going to be very selective about this as well. He's going to have to be very conscientious about what he clearly understands what system is best for him. So I think that's a part of it too. There's a lot of things that have to fall in place. It's not going to be just about the money. And that is the one thing that I'm hopeful that we can get him back on. I think he's going to be strategic. I don't think he's going to be chasing the money. I think it's going to have to be the combination of fit, scheme, money, location, and which team is best poised at 36 years old to win a Super Bowl. And I got to think that the Vikings are right there. Right there. I don't think that out of principle, I don't think he goes back to Washington. Washington has an ass load of money to give. Their salary cap is astronomical as far as the money that they can dish out. I don't think that out of principle he goes back to Washington. Atlanta has a little bit less money to spend than us, but they've got a very talented team like we talked about. It's close to his wife's hometown, and they've got family in the area. I don't know. How much does that matter? Maybe none at all. He obviously was playing at close to an MVP level here. I think that matters, but how much money are we often going to offer before we at some point in time are going to have to, and that doesn't mean that we don't draft quarterback. I think I want to put that out there too. If you sign Kirk to a 2-year deal, that doesn't mean like quarterback's off the table. But I think it gives you a little bit more leeway. And if you look at getting back at the end of the first round or using your second round selection on quarterback versus like, all right, guys, we're going to leverage everything and we're going to try to move up in this draft to get one of the top 3 guys. So I don't know.
Can I ask you a quick question on that as an addendum?
Sure.
Because I was wondering about this morning and last night, Mr. Ben Lieber. Are we being silly and just assuming that he's going to completely recover from his Achilles? I mean, nobody even talks about that, right? We just assume it's definitely going to happen. He's going to be 100% again. Everything's going to be great. And we're going to want him back. Yeah. Are we rushing to judgment on that?
I don't think so. I think there's enough out there where guys, even skill position guys, can make it back and play at a high level. Kevin Durant can come back at tall and play at a high level off an Achilles.
That's a huge bitch.
No.
The precedent's been set that an Achilles is a devastating injury, but if you give yourself time, it's 100% recovery.
Okay.
So I'm not worried about it.
Good.
It's a fair question, though, Hawk, especially when you're talking about a 36-year-old athlete who will be 37 next year. It's a fair question.
Thank you.
Yeah,
good question.
It is
fair question.
It's a fair question, but at the same time, for his position and the fact that he's not a mobile quarterback and not looking to run and be super explosive, I think it bears a little bit less weight given his position.
How much of the last, let's say, 8 weeks do you think changed the Vikings' option? Because let's say they didn't re-sign him before the season, right? Let's say Kwesi's plan was, all right, I'm going to probably move on after this. We're going to reset the financial structure of the Vikings salary cap and eliminate like this 30 or 40 million from quarterback. We're going to go draft next year. That's my plan.
Mr. Unlimited.
And then you have Kirk go down and you see what life is like without Kirk, who was leading the league in touchdown throws and yards before he got hurt. And then you see what happened the rest of the year without him. Do you think this potentially changed Kwesi's plan, or do you think the plan always was to try to re-sign him to a short deal after this year?
I think it changed it. I really think that if they had a team that they felt like had more depth, didn't have as many defensive holes that exposed itself this year, then I think that they would have said, we've got a pretty balanced team. We just need a quarterback that we can develop, and let's go way cheaper at that position. I think that he increased his value immensely on this team by getting injured and having multiple quarterbacks go out there and not even come close. Couldn't even sniff the production that he had. Now, Mullins, from a yards perspective, yes, but I think we all understand that, it's about taking care of the football. It's about making, accurate decisions for 17 games, not just a handful in a reserve role.
How big of a bidding war do you think the Vikings are willing to get into with the Justin Jefferson signing that they have to have? They got to sign their left tackle. There's a couple other people. I mean, Danielle Hunter might be gone, but they have to at least entertain that. Mm-hmm. How big of a bidding war do you think they would get into?
I wouldn't think much for Danielle, but the good thing is I don't think you necessarily, unless I'm not understanding correctly, you don't have to. There is no bidding war for Justin. There is no bidding war for Darrisaw unless they completely opt out and don't want to sign at all. And if that's the case, we're in a really ugly situation. I think that you for sure lock up Justin. I think that's the priority number one. Actually, you find a way to lock up quarterback if that's the direction you want to go. You get Darrisaw on a long-term deal. And the thing is, I think you still have time with Darrisaw. There's still franchise tags options. There's other options. There's other levers they can pull when it comes to contracts. Those become guaranteed now. That is you're pulling from a little bit of a different accounting bucket when you do that. But I think Danielle Hunter is a guy that you don't get in a bidding war for. I mean, he had a phenomenal year, and we desperately need to build on this edge rush pressure. But I don't think, given the cap space that we have and the needs that we have and the guys that we currently have on the team, I don't think that you get in a bidding war for Danielle.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Sweet.
What about for
Mr. Unlimited?
No.
Here's something that just happened, by the way.
No.
That's just a no.
Max and I were over
Even
here
though
talking.
he's cheap.
That's a no.
Okay.
Stop it right now.
Got it.
That is a no. Marnie, don't even.
I didn't even.
She was just sitting there.
Yeah, Marnie wasn't doing anything.
Marnie was sitting there, and Max and I were over here talking filthy talk off the air.
Pillow talk. Yep.
And laughing and enjoying each other's company. And I looked over, and Marnes, even though she couldn't hear a word we were saying,
She knew it.
was giving us the look.
Yeah.
The look of disappointment. She knew. And we were just talking about Brie Larson. And
As one would do on a Monday morning.
Yeah, correct.
yeah,
Is she on TV?
she was. Yeah, she was on TV.
Was it from Golden
the
Globes?
Golden Globes? Yeah,
Red carpet?
Yeah, and we were talking about Golden Globes.
Oh,
Yep. And Marnes was looking at us like, how dare you? And there's no way you could hear what we were saying. I literally checked my mic to make sure I wasn't getting fired because I was afraid my mic was on. That's how disappointed you looked.
You two have a look.
Vibe.
Yeah, mainly sunglasses.
And you have vibe, yeah. When you're talking about something inappropriate, it's the way you laugh. It's how you cover your mouth, your face.
I'm afraid of lip readers.
Max throws his head back, and all of that was going on, and I was getting real bored with Lieber over here, so I was
Wobble, wobble.
so I was looking through the glass, and you two were just yucking it up.
The Masters.
Thanks, Mark.
What was the general take on Brie Larson? I'm gonna guess it was a positive reaction.
Yeah. We were literally. Mostly we were being clean. I think she's so pretty.
Same.
Like the shape of her face just like does it for me.
She just seems so warm.
Isn't
and
she
inviting.
unlikable?
That's what he said. I don't.
A lot of people don't like
Yeah.
her, but I think it's just from like her movie roles because everything I see of her off the screen, she seems like a great person. Just
Perfect boobs.
that too.
The Twins.
Why you look at me? You don't know I hit that button.
Yeah, of course you did.
Of course I did.
I'd also like to see her topless.
Now that one I did not hit.
Yeah, nice try.
Anyway, football.
Yeah. Yeah, football news.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a lot, guys. There's a lot to get to. I mean, we're gonna have months and months to talk about this, and I cannot wait to break this down with Sauce because we really could go in so many different directions with that 11th pick. And I think that we should entertain it all.
All of it.
All of it. I think that if you're in the camp right now and you're listening and you're like, I think that we should package up players, picks, whatever, and move up to get one of these top 3 quarterbacks, that's in play. Why not?
Yeah.
That's in play. I don't think that you move back. I think moving back in this draft right now would probably be the least viable option in my mind. But if you want to pass on quarterback at 11, because there probably won't be a requisite quarterback that would be deserving to go 11 at that point in time, then it's like, what? Okay, who you want to go corner? Sure, we can talk about that. You want to go edge rusher? Sure, we can talk about that.
I think
Interior
that's it,
defensive
right?
line?
Yeah,
Absolutely, we can talk about that.
Yeah,
I think we go defensive end, right?
I do too.
Yeah.
I think that's number one.
If they get the quarterback thing solved, I think I would, as I said a week ago, I would look at Dallas Turner, the defensive end from Alabama. He might be the first one taken, but there are so many teams in front of the Vikings
What about Houston straight ahead?
brilliant that desperately need quarterbacks and wide receivers, and I think 6 or 7 of the first 11 picks are going to be quarterbacks and wide receivers.
What about San Antonio merger?
Thank you.
How many snaps have you seen of Dallas Turner?
I watched a 15-minute YouTube video on him.
Oh, cool.
So take that, beady eyes.
7.
Do I know anything about him? And I got a pretty good scouting report from a football friend of mine.
Thank you.
This John Randall.
He's a football friend of mine.
Yeah, but it's John Randall.
Yeah, it is.
Right.
Randall is a big fan?
Huge fan.
Hey, Marzi.
Yep.
You fly out today.
Yeah.
You played the game tomorrow?
You're playing tomorrow?
Yeah, she's starting in center. Yeah. So what are you going to do tonight?
Tonight, I'm having dinner
Sick brag.
with
Jim Peterson?
How are you,
Jim Pete.
stranger?
Pretty good. I'm having dinner with Jim Pete and his wife, Tika, because, they're friends of mine, but worked out well for the Peterson family because Jim Pete and Tika's son, Sanjay, is an assistant coach for the Atlanta Hawks.
Really?
The Orlando Magic just hosted the Atlanta Hawks last night. So they are going to spend a few days in Orlando. They caught Sanjay in Atlanta last night. Then we'll have dinner tonight, game tomorrow night. Also, a former producer of ours, Vanessa Lambert.
Mm-hmm.
My third favorite Lambert, after Miranda and Paul. Actually, Kelly, probably.
And Jack and Kelly.
Yeah, so it's just dinner.
Oh, good.
Do you know
going
where?
to eat?
Yeah.
I don't know. They have a reservation somewhere.
Okay.
And I'm just going to,
So you're the tag along.
yeah.
Third wheel. in
Third
it.
wheel, fourth wheel, fifth wheel, whatever.
Just leave it at
I'm
that.
a wheel on the bus.
Zach.
They go round and round. You know
That they do.
Just
You
leave
know
it at
from
that.
having traveled for work that it is not, we're going to seek out, I'm a real foodie and I'm going to find these great places.
Yeah,
and
right.
it's what's convenient. How much time do I have? All right,
Yeah.
let's get there. You enjoy it. I'll have a beer, have a nice dinner, but it's like, all right, got to go. And do
Yeah.
some work.
Yeah. Do you prefer to go eat with people or would you rather just wander out by yourself?
It depends on the company, but
Right.
for the most part,
Right.
eat with people. I'm not afraid to consume food in front of people, if that's what you mean. 'cause
I am.
I know.
I have a hard time with
I
that.
know.
And that's why, Ben, I thank you for inviting me on Saturday night. And I'm sorry I didn't go. I wish I that's had
fine.
now because I like hanging out with you. But I have a hard time eating in front of people. I don't know why I'm
Is
like
it because you think they're watching you?
I don't
eat?
know. I don't know what it is. I feel embarrassed to be consuming food because I feel like people are going, that's enough, Chubsy.
Okay, speaking of which, though, speaking of which, so in all fairness,
Yeah.
it was, we did not plan it. We were walking out of the hotel at the same time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, where are you going? You're like, I'm just going to go for a walk. I'm like, well, I'm going to dinner. You want to come with me? You're like, no, I'm good. It's totally fine. It was like totally impromptu. It's not like we had set it up and we were like
Sure.
texting for weeks, getting ready. Where did you go?
I walked all the way down the main road that the hotel was on right there.
Yeah, because that's a really busy road that we were on.
I just walked all the way down as far as you could almost go. And then I turned around and walked all the way back. It was snowing. It was a pretty night. I was listening to a cool podcast. So I just did that.
So you didn't actually eat?
I eventually did that night, but not very much. No, but I like seeing strange towns. And Troy, Michigan's kind of a weird town.
Yeah, it's a weird town.
Kind of a weird town.
It was a really weird. It was a weird business trip.
Yeah.
If we put it in that way, because we landed and it was terrible outside. It was gloomy. It was snowy, spitty rain, and then that night it started snowing even more. And it was like, and we're in Troy, Michigan. There's nothing around.
It's really weird, man. It's weird. It's like, have you ever noticed that sadly or whatever, I'm glad it's there. The Children's Hospital is right across the parking lot from the hotel we always stay in right there. I've never seen any activity over there. Have you ever noticed like I don't know if it's still active.
It's a front.
I don't know. I think it may be an empty building now. Weird.
Ooh, that'd be creepy.
I think it is creepy.
We should have toured it. We should
It's
have
kinda
broken in
creepy.
and just walked around.
My hotel room faced it, and I had to shut the curtains because I was freaked out.
Yeah.
Whoa.
But back to eating by yourself for a
Yes.
second. Like in my 20s, pretty rough decade.
Yeah, remember?
I got very used to
It's funny.
us making a reservation for
Yeah,
one.
dinner for one is an easy reservation.
Wobble, wobble.
Going to movies by myself and eating at a restaurant, not even a fast food restaurant, like going to Champs in Woodbury back in the day by myself. Pretty frequent decision that I made. And you're like, God, this is depressing. Sitting here by myself, this sucks. And now at 43, married, couple of kids, like I would kill 6 strangers to just go to Malone's and sit by myself.
Yeah.
Right, the time by
That's the
yourself
future.
just doesn't exist anymore. So it's all relative. In my 20s, I'm like, this is rock bottom. Now it's how much do I have to pay to make that happen?
Ben,
Just give me an hour.
if we live through the rest of this year and we get a chance to do these fantastic jobs again, we should make a point for you and I to have dinners together.
We need to do that. We
I
need
would
to do
like that.
Yeah.
Because I need to get out of my my own head and go have fun with guys.
Well, the funny thing is, I was just
Podcast title.
New year, new you.
yeah. I think Zach can help with that.
Oh, is that
Wait, I just got a text from Tommy. He says ditto.
He said that's my bet.
Wild.
Link, please.
I was going to give you a hard time because when I invited you to go to dinner and you were like, no, I'm good. I'm like, yes, thank you.
Really?
No, I'm kidding.
no, okay.
Here's the thing. So that night, and I'm with you, Cor. I don't mind going to a movie by myself. I don't mind going to dinner by myself. It is not a problem for me.
Yeah.
Walk across the street. Now you guys got to help me out with this because I don't know how to pronounce it. Fogo de show? Fogo de chow?
Shown with an
Shown.
N? There's no N in there. Is there an N?
There's an
No,
N.
but
There's
that's
Just
an
say
N?
chow.
There's an N in there?
I think it's Fogo de Schoen.
Shown.
That's
yeah.
how Guardsy says it.
Oh,
He's
okay.
endorsed it for years.
Well, there you go
Yeah.
then. He probably
Okay.
knows. Okay.
So that Fogo de Schoen was like right across the street. I'm like, perfect. I'm just gonna go and Button Bar, meet heaven, and
Tommy says ditto.
Tommy opened the gates for me.
Yeah.
Guys, let's let him finish.
Well,
You said that before.
So surprise, they don't have a lot of tables for one.
Oh.
So I walk in and I'm like, just a table for one. They're like, it's going to be 30 to 40 minutes for a table to open. I was like, oh, how about that bar that nobody's sitting at? Is that open? They're like, yeah, but you don't get full service. It's just a limited menu. But you get the salad bar. I'm like, fine. So I went in there fully expecting to have that green stopper just blaring up. Man. Like, I'm never turning this thing over. And then I was like, I'm not waiting 30 minutes to sit down for this. I got things to do. I got to go back and sit in my hotel room.
Mars, my guess is, though, since you're the third wheel or beyond tonight, that you don't get to choose the restaurant. You just have to go where the Petersons want to go. What are they
Probably.
into?
And I will tell you that Tika is the best at that because she researches, she makes an effort, she loves finding new places with great reviews, and I put almost zero effort into something like that. Especially because it's a work trip. So that part of it is not that important to me. I have been on multiple road trips where Tika has come in and joined us and have eaten at some of the best places, discovered this great patio. Oh, she's great for that. She's one of those travel gurus. So, yes, I am not choosing it, and that is in the best interest of everyone involved.
What's it like to be an adult? Because when I land in a different city, it's can I DoorDash Canes to my hotel? That's the first thing I look up.
Or walk to it.
Right. Or is it walking distance?
Yes.
Must be nice.
Yeah, I mean, it is fun to see different things once in a while.
We're going to do it,
Red
Ben.
Hawk?
Yeah, Chris wants to try new things in 2024. He wants to go to meet heaven. The 8 o'clock hour of the Power Trip Morning Show. Ben Lieber is here. Marnie's here for like another 30 or so. This is the Power Trip Morning Show on the Fan.